Dear Senators Richard Blumenthal and R.Wyden, today is July 22nd, 2025. This is a petition to you as members of U.S. Senate Committees of Homeland Security, Senate Committee of Judiciary, Senate Committee of Finance, to provide necessary support and oversight over the executive agencies that are responsible for executing Treasury's 2024 illicit finance strategy, which states that United States government should prioritize seizing the assets, those generated by illicit finance. Specifically, there are three priorities that are listed in the strategy. So illicit finance connected to the fraud, to corruption, cybercrime, also drug trafficking, and also other types of illicit proceeds generated in real estate. My name is Christina Vega, and the statements conveyed in this video are made under penalty and perjury. I am ready to repeat the same in any court if needed. A little bit about me and about the location where I'm filming, because this is important and this is related to this petition. This petition is within jurisdiction of the committees that you serve on, and I'm making this video from Miami Beach, Florida, and the reason why I'm filming these skyscrapers and these buildings, because they are related to the illicit finance and the evidence that I have been providing on the same to the Department of Justice, to Government Accountability Office, to Department of Justice Inspector General, to the Council of Inspectors Generals, to FDIC, and to other agencies for a year now. So I moved to Miami Beach, Florida in 2009 from Lithuania, and I worked for financial sector and IT sector for 15 years. Now I found money laundering investigation agency a year ago called Cyber Money Laundering and Real Estate Investigations Corp, doing business as detect, report, prosecute. The idea behind this agency was first actually to bring my father's company's software product. My company is a spin-off from Enterprise Resource Planning software company in Lithuania. After I saw that many of these buildings in Miami Beach, year after year, are undergoing renovations and constructions, sometimes for a decade, and that each of the building is receiving liens from the contractors, from the city of Miami Beach. So since my father's company for 30 years has been developing and implementing enterprise resource planning software in construction and manufacturing companies, I thought that maybe there is something with the process or technology that these real estate sector companies are using in the wrong way, because the renovations and constructions shouldn't take years for something that can happen in less than a year, right? But after I started investigating these liens and the documents in the City of Miami Beach CSS portal and the county recorder, Miami-Dade County Recorder's official records, I noticed that they are fraudulent because for one, the addresses, the legal descriptions were inconsistent, and all other types of fraud. So I'm also a former military wife. I was married to men serving our country twice. One served our country in Army Force, in the Air Force, and was deployed in Iraq. And second one was a part of Army, and he served our country in Afghanistan. And both times it was love, and I did wait for them. And unfortunately, post-traumatic disorder is something that even the strongest love sometimes cannot survive. So even though I'm not part of military community anymore, because of the fact and the reason that I stated, I want for you to look into my petition also from the angle that what happened in the past 30 years in Miami-Dade is not fair to our men military and their families who risk their lives and lose their lives, while there is a group of criminal organization that takes our land, American land, by hacking or taking an access, colluding with the government. Maybe it's the better terminology. So by simply redrawing the maps and plat books and creating themselves, making themselves as the owners of the land by replacing the plat books and mortgages and deeds in the county's records, and making themselves the owners of the land this way. And here is what the statement is based on. So when I started doing the research for product market fit for my company, trying to see if I could bring the enterprise resource planning software from Lithuania here, I noticed that majority of mortgages and plat books and deeds have the same signatures, different names but the same handwriting. And those plat books, they are from 1920s, 60s, 30s. And then I looked at the cover page of those plat books, and I saw that they are uploaded in 2009, 2010, 2011. And plat book is a document that shows the boundary of the land, the easements, the streets, and mortgages associated with the plat book. Also shows the names of city officials, the notaries, the engineering company names, the signatures of them, and you would see that the same document has exactly the same signature on all of those people signing the plat books. And then if you look at some of the names, for example, some plat books have a mayor name that never existed, or engineering license that never existed. And on top of that, what I did, I looked at Congress Library, and I looked at the old pictures from those years, because the plat books that these skyscrapers and buildings are built on, supposedly they are from 1919, 1920, 21. So I looked on the pictures, of the land of Miami Beach, and I saw that the Congress Library does not show the streets that are shown in these forged plat books. For example, real estate developer Russell Galbut, he built his newest properties on the plat book. Book is number 2, and page 81. And what you see there is Mango Street. There was never a Mango Street in Miami Beach. You can verify it by looking at the different documents. So then I started looking into my mortgage and my deed documents. I live in Golden Dreams condominium that has been built in 1960, and it's a historic contributing property. And Russell Galbut, developer that I just mentioned, he owns a unit 16. His company owns the unit 16. And the condominium's president, Isabel Fine, her husband, Robert Fine, he worked for Greenberg Traurig law company, real estate, finance and law company, that actually has built these skyscrapers. They are controlled companies. And I saw the same thing. I saw that that the signatures are same, but what I also saw, that the parcel numbers and the addresses and legal descriptions change with almost every conveyance. So I was naive. when I moved to Miami in 2009, and when I found an apartment number 7 in Golden Dreams condominium, I was told that my address is 75 Washington Avenue, apartment 7. And then I discovered that actually that apartment was under 65 Washington Avenue, apartment 7. So I lived in that apartment for 5 years, and one day a man showed up, who then became actually a president of our condominium. Actually, two of them, Arik Azulay and Leo Raviv, established the company 65-75 Washington Avenue LLC, and now they own majority of our 26 unit buildings, and they present themselves as the developers. So after 5 years of living there, one of them showed up at my door, and they said that my landlord, who was severely disabled, she had lost her apartment in foreclosure, and this has been already for a year. No one told me about it, Later I checked the records and I noticed that this landlord, I met her once. She was severely disabled. She barely could hold a pen in her hands. She was handicapped. That actually 3 foreclosures were filed under her name, and in each foreclosure document I'm listed as a tenant under different address variation and under different name variation. So in one foreclosure document I am Cristina Vega as CH Cristina Vega. In another one I'm as Cristina Vega with K Cristina Vega. Another one I'm Cristina Vegas. So I have now as Las Vegas, not Vega, but Vegas. Then in one of the documents I have an address of 75 Washington Apartment 7, and another one is 65 Washington Apartment 7. And note, I have not received a single court document notifying me that my landlord is under foreclosure. So I was told to move out immediately or pay rent double what I was paying. Luckily, another board member approached me stating that she has another unit in the same condominium, unit 20, and I moved there, and what I was told is the following: your address for post office is 65 Washington Avenue, apartment 20. I am signing a lease with you for 75 Washington apartment 20. And then I discovered that she also has a mortgage, and all former owners had a mortgage under 65 Washington Avenue, apartment 20. So we have two situations where the building number in the owner's mortgages and the tenant's building number for the same unit differs. So I lived in the condo 20. Again, I was naive. I had no clue about the real estate laws, about what is the declaration of condominium. Declaration of condominium, by the way, states that the address of condominium is 65 Washington Avenue, apartment 20. Oh, sorry, 65 Washington Avenue, Miami Beach, Florida. And the same goes under the condo license on Department of Business and Professional Regulation, and the same goes under Department of State Sunbiz portal, where the condominiums file annual reports. So it was Hurricane Irma time. At that time, after working for 5 years in fintech in 2010 through 2015, I worked for financial technology company, and I led the development and integration team that built and integrated white labeled e-payments products for banks, condominiums, and insurance companies. So essentially what happened there, I integrated for 12 banks and about 5,000 condominiums in the year span of 5 years. And I would lead the development for the payment pages, that's what we called, for the bank's customers, business customers, condominiums, and B2B companies to accept payments online via credit cards and ACH. So I integrated their backend. I led the underwriting process with the ACH processors and credit card processors. For example, Vantiv, Jack Henry, and others. So I know a lot about payment technology and banking sector, but at the time I did not know anything about real estate sector, and I was very naive. I believed everything what I was told. So it was the year 2017, September, Hurricane Irma, and at that time I was working for the second largest energy company in United States, which is NextEra Energy. I worked for their revenue management, billing department, back office. At the time they implemented smart meters, and they needed to make sure that their billing technology and processes capture correct information from the smart meters. So I worked in different teams, and there I gained knowledge about revenue systems, and what can compromise the payment integrity, and what needs to be done to prevent revenue leakage. So coming back, that's when I was told by another landlord that she wants to sell the condo, and if I don't buy it, I have to move out. Obviously, I had at the time when there is a hurricane, the utility company moves not all, but majority of the staff in their remote locations. We are working extra hours to keep the lights on for Florida people, and that hurricane was one of the most devastating. So I said, okay, yes, I want to buy. I'm gonna try to get a loan. I had over 700 of the credit score, and I went to the credit union within the Florida Power and Light building, and I was denied because they said that the owner concentration is high and this is risky. So as I mentioned, the 26 unit condominium is owned by the board members for over 3 decades. The same people own majority of condos. So the landlord suggested that I get the broker, her business associate, and settlement attorney. And here I was told again, now you have to get a mortgage under 75 Washington Avenue, apartment 20, even though all former mortgages and deeds show 65 Washington Avenue, apartment 20. I believe that the process took 3 months, and I was given 3 different applications with different legal descriptions. And in the end, I got a very high interest mortgage at 6.75%, and then recently it was raised to 10%, 10.75, yeah. So I started looking at other old. When I moved there, there were many people living here in our building, and also in South Beach. And this is one of the reasons why I'm recording this message, because what I started seeing is that there are many mortgages, multi-million-dollar in aggregate sum mortgages and liens taken, and hotel permits taken under these senior names. They had they were lonely. It's like, that's how it was. Back in the day, it was a senior paradise, and these owners had no family. And recently they started disappearing, and I'm going to come back to this in a second. So when I looked at the mortgages and deeds of these seniors, and then I saw that there is a city permit for a hotel under our condominium. So here is how my idea for the business started, when I realized that there is something wrong with the Miami-Dade County Recorder and City of Miami Beach permit system. So now I want to summarize what are my findings. I have been doing my research for 3 years, and I have been informing for a year now our executive agencies such as FBI, Department of Justice, FDIC, about the fact that the plat books in Miami-Dade were replaced by forged ones across Miami-Dade. That money laundering is taking place in the form of fake mortgages, fake liens, fake bankruptcies. And now one of the major discoveries which requires an urgent attention. What I discovered is the following. Many business entities, including these real estate developers, their articles of organization filed with Florida Department of State Sunbiz Department. They have forged certificates of good standing from Delaware, or they do not have federal employee identification number. I quote Department of Treasury IRS publication, which states, if you do not have EIN number, you must apply for one. However, not only many of these real estate development LLCs do not have EIN number. However, City of Miami Beach does provide documentation like agreements, their orders for these LLCs. But I also noticed that in 1995 you do not see any of the filings done prior 1995. Now 1995 is an important date because that's when 1993, 1995, that's when these older condominiums, they even filed conversions from cooperative to condominium, and also that's when they were added to the department, to the historic properties list under the oversight of City of Miami Beach. So you have now 3 government portals that have been compromised. Next, I'm going to tell you the following. I discovered about 5,000 unknown developer licenses in Department of Business and Professional Regulation portal, which regulates licensing. And those were done in 1975, supposedly. Original developers. I did inform this. I've provided my research about these unknown developers and these forged plat books and deeds to the Department of Justice Criminal Division Whistleblower Program in August, September. And I received a threatening letter that I will be banned from the program if I send another email about this. I reported this to Department of Justice Inspector General as a civil rights violation, and Department of Justice Inspector General did not include this in semi-annual report to Congress, I believe in March 31st of this year. I reported this to the Council of Inspectors Generals on April 7, and on July 14, I received notification they will not investigate because it does not meet the threshold of the investigation, even though the criminal conduct is something that they do investigate, and by the Inspector General failing to inform about my complaint to the Congress, this is a violation of United States Code 18, Section 1001. No action has been taken, as I mentioned, so I started investigating other government portals to see how bad this critical infrastructure cyber-enabled crime, because you see, by removing all their permits, we have no permits showing on Miami Beach CSS portal from older than 2009. There are 2 or 3 permits that show from years 1800s. But what I noticed also, that the same condo unit would go under different addresses and different parcel numbers. So you have now several government portals at the city, county, and state levels, those being City of Miami Beach CSS portal with the permits, older permits than 2009 being removed, and the same property being listed under different variations of address and parcel number. Then you have the county systems, Miami-Dade County Recorder, and Miami-Dade Property Appraiser. Now, the property tax bills, that portal has been compromised as well. We do not see older than 2011 in most of the cases property tax bills. Plus, what my latest discovery was, I saw that there are parcels being created with the size of 0 square miles or 1 square mile. And then those parcels, including other parcels, not only those that are weird 0 or 1 square mile, then they go under auction and property tax auction, and the auction takes place, and I see bids, like 300,000 bids on this 1 square mile property. Some of those, I see that the signatures are the same of our treasurers, our condominium treasurers' signature. But when I look at the property tax bill on these on these weird parcels, I see that they have payments and refunds processed for years later than the tax bill is, and the bidder number is a different one. And sometimes those are an amount of refunds or those certificates of over $1 million. So now you have a situation where a fake parcel is being created and it's laundered. The proceeds are laundered as transaction laundering via government portal and government auction. Now, I want to talk to you about these liens. Remember, I stated that there are liens created on each building. Each of these buildings that I looked has liens. Every several years we have liens. So liens, I see they have different address or different legal description. My theory of what is happening here, and by the way, our condominium has been receiving a lot of liens, and all of them have different addresses and legal descriptions, not what it is in government portals. So my theory is the following. This group of criminal organization, which is connected, by the way, to prostitution, to gun trade, I will provide you all the evidence that I have, to drugs, to corruption, to tax evasion. So there is an abuse of financial instrument called annuities, where the insurable event is forced and then the claim is processed through annuities. Because you see, annuity is a security within Security Exchange Act, Commission Act. And the more of these liens we have, the more annuities that they can produce as settlement. And what I understand, that these liens, they are processed, these new securities are issued, and then they are processed in that property tax auction in Miami-Dade. So what I noticed is that these liens and instruments related to these liens payments, they are processed in August. This makes me think that next month, by the way, don't you think it's strange that the auction for those takes place when Congress is not active, because in August we know that the Congress is out. So with so many liens I'm seeing lately, I believe that those will be processed in the auction next month. Now this building is also built by Russell Galbut, and I have never seen here anyone living, and the same with others. And supposedly there are 5 apartments, and 4 of them are listed as parking garages, which are donated to the city. Now here is the situation with the changing addresses. I already provided to you the details about the changing addresses. By the way, I checked federal government databases, specifically those related to General Services Administration, federal owned properties and leases, to the Department of Commerce owned properties and leases, Department of Interior National Historic Places Register. And what I noticed, that there we have properties that have no address, or the databases are not accessible since 2022. Now in 2022, major things happened. Rushmore Loan Management Services, which is a mortgage servicer, it was my servicer, it is my servicer, they merged with Mr. Cooper, and now they are merging with Redfin. So, and then that's when I saw a majority of these liens taking place, and all of Miami Beach all of a sudden started undergoing the same type of work. pavement of roads, roof replacements, landscaping. I looked at the grants and I see that there are grants, multi-million-dollar grants being given by federal government to companies that for landscaping in Miami Beach, Miami-Dade. And you cannot see actually which company, which building received that landscaping. I also saw insurance grant. So when I reviewed our documents, the condominium documents, and I informed Department of Justice, first of all I saw that the bank account number is the bank account by condominium is maintained by our manager and registered agent, Albert Corrab, C-O-R-R-A-B, when his name is Corrada. So we have already bank fraud going on here. Then I noticed that there is insurance policy. I contacted that insurance carrier and they said the condominium is not their client. So now we have forged insurance documents. I provided this to Florida Department of Insurance Regulation, Florida CFO, Miami Beach Police Department, the United States Attorney's Office, Florida section. And then I looked at other condominiums, policies of insurance, certificates of insurance, letters of insurance. And I see that they also are produced for companies that actually are not registered with the department, or the agents, they are not authorized to transact that policy. And remember, when the agent is properly licensed, they have to take the training course for which they have to pay. They have to pay for each insurance company the necessary fees. And one of those fees is FBI fee. So by not having those agents be properly licensed and pay the fees, the federal government is not receiving the funding for FBI. This is a problem. But coming back, so Department of Interior National Places Register, I see that they are a database for our historic places, Ocean Beach, Flamingo, and others were also updated in 2011. So now you see the same date happening 3 times. That brings attention. 2011 property tax bills, no property tax bills showing in Miami-Dade on the government's portal. 2011, when majority of permits and licenses are being issued by the city government and no prior ones, with the exception of several issued in 2009 and 2010. And 2011 is when this National Historic Places Register is there, updated. And then I check. I see that some of those properties that I do not see the same address, or I do not see them in my Miami-Dade property appraiser portal. So either they were demolished or they were added by mistake. Or they were deleted from Miami-Dade property appraiser portal. So then when you look at the government-owned buildings in Miami-Dade and Miami Beach, those do not show address, or the same location is listed several times. So some of the contracts and grants funding do not have federal account number associated. This is a big problem. But I wanted to end this video with another national security concern. So I believe that by not having correct addresses, there is a huge tax fraud going on, because then you can take different mortgages, different permits, different leases. By the way, there are 99-year leases supposedly recorded from 1960s on Miami Beach, various parts of land, in 2009 and 2010. So if government wanted to, for example, to buy a property, government also has to pay the liens and leases. But then you have all of this situation with federal insured mortgages. That's a problem. Then General Services Administration, when they have to do due diligence when buying their condo, their property, they have to look at the building. So now the latest issue that I have been communicating to the city of Miami Beach, to the Government Accountability Office, and to Department of Justice, is that we have apartment numbers removed from our building. So this is my building, Golden Dreams Condominium Association. As you see, this is supposed to be the part of the building that goes under 75 Washington Avenue, and this is supposed to be under 65 Washington Avenue. But actually there are 2 apartments there, well, 3, when my apartment number was not changed, specifically apartments 6 and 7, that even though they are on the 75 Washington Avenue place, they hold an address of 65 Washington Avenue, apartments 6 and 7. So also the problem here is that those liens, fake liens, the owners have to pay condo assessments, and those liens are part of the assessments. So as I mentioned, in 2022, all of a sudden we start having all this unnecessary maintenance work. And for example, these bombs were brought during the weekend by the treasurer and the former tenant. And what my research shows also, that there is a Unit 17 owner that has been having liens for condo assessments and bankruptcies filed since 2009. And supposedly that owner has not paid condo assessments. I reported this owner and these bankruptcies. I reviewed the bankruptcies, and I see that the bankruptcies are given for the same unit as a collateral under different address variations, and that the assets do not have the, for example, the vehicles that the owner owns, like the car, the motorcycle, and it doesn't list the rent income she has been receiving, and nothing has been done. You see, bankruptcy fraud is a predicate offense for the United States Code 18, Section 1956. And now this owner didn't pay assessments and filed fake bankruptcies, and our owners have to be paying her part. This is the vehicle that I've already provided Department of Justice. So now nothing has been done for a year. The owner is enjoying her life by the beach, going to the gym, not paying assessments, and all others have to pay, including the elderly which for the past 3 years they have been disappearing. They've been taken somewhere, some assisted living facility. I underwent extensive medical examination. I have this all recorded. Everything is in my videos. This has been communicating to the City of Miami Beach Department. So they also had to pay her share. So not only that, but we have to pay for condo lawyer fees. So every time the condominium association is collecting payments for the assessments, they are promoting this predicate offense of bankruptcy fraud. So their condos and this owner's condo is subject to forfeiture under money laundering facilitation theory, and their condos meets the substantial connection requirement. No, nothing has been done. Senators, can you please help? But one of the things I want to end my video with, you never know how you will end up when you're old. You might not have a family. It might be an earthquake, some natural disaster, a terrorist attack. You might be alone. And you might be in the situation where you are in the condominium that is controlled by criminal organization. And this might happen to you, where you have no one. And then all of a sudden, mortgages are filed under your name. You are being kidnapped, held in some assisted living facility for a month. Then you have insurance policies taken under you, and then you die in suspicious circumstances. Like for example, one of the owners said that he passed out. He was in his house and he passed out, and that's when he was brought to some crazy Haitian house and held there by force for a month. He came back, and then 6 months later he died. I signed his will as a witness. He left it to his condo to his niece in Spain. He only had 2 relatives, one in Cuba, one in Spain. And then after he died, these 2 guys changed locks. I approached them. I'm like, who you are? And he's like, oh, I'm the owner now, because I'm his cousin. I'm Vicente Gonzalez's cousin. He never had a cousin. And just a couple blocks away, I own a real estate agency. I filmed it all, like everything is there. So that's what can happen to you. And you might be living in such a condominium where you have to pay for some fake bankruptcies and fake insurance policies, and there is no one will help you. And here these fake liens, the condominium treasurer has been trying to put actually a fake lien on my apartment by stating that my wall, this is my unit, that the wall is cracked and that air conditioner is not working, even though I had it fixed just a year and a half ago. So I'm filming this to show that this is not true, because I do not want my property to be utilized for money laundering. And now we have a situation that 3 months ago we had windows and doors replaced, also by force. We did not want that, but our condominium president, Isabel Fine, has decided to do that. And that windows and doors replacement company has removed majority of the numbers of the condo units. And I informed this city government, federal government, and no, they have not added. So these windows and doors replacement company, you see, they removed the addresses, so you don't know what address belongs. So thanks God they did not remove, they did not have done any work on mine. But you see, not only they removed the addresses, but also they have damaged one of the unit owners' wall. And the condo treasurer is coming here every weekend. She's like banging my door with very big force, screaming at midnight by my door. They know that I'm recording these videos, so they know that I reported them for all this fraud. So she's coming here every weekend, and you know, she's trying to put a lien on my apartment and stating some imaginary wall problem or conditioner problem. And she is not noticing that this windows and doors replacement contractor has damaged this unit owner. This unit owner lives in Turkey. Well, senators, I'm going to be sending you and other senators my research information. I'm asking you to do what is proper in the oversight of the executive agencies implementing National Illicit Finance Strategy, published in 2024 by Department of Treasury. Thank you so much.